to the Magical Mystery School, and thank you so much for coming back. And remember to like and subscribe. And today's class is going to be Symbols of the Tarot, class 22. And we're going to be talking about key 21, the world. All right, I'm going to try to make this nice, as good as I can here. Okay, so this card is also called the universe sometimes, and the dancer. I mean, wouldn't it be great to be able to dance in the air like this, up in the clouds in the cosmos there? But we have been through it now. If you've been with me through all this whole fool's journey through all 22 keys, you know that we've had ups and we've had downs and lows and highs and everything like that, but we are finally made it. We have a sense of fulfillment and happiness, and we know we're a changed person. We're more mature, we're wiser, we understand things better, and there is this sense that there's a whole new world. Now this key also talks about integration. And so what we're seeing here is not only just the integration of male and female, and she is an androgynous figure. I mean, she does have the breasts of a woman, but it's written that underneath this veil here, she does have the equipment for a man too. So she's got both things going on. I'm going to call her a she though. So she is very androgynous. And that scarf that she has wrapped around her is a violet color. And violet is the combination, or purple, is the combination of red and blue. And red, of course, is our Mars, our masculine color, and blue is our high priestess color. So we see that, again, that integration of male and female there. But also, we can't forget that we're also integrating our cosmic consciousness too. We are up there in the sky. So it's really we've integrated all three of those. Whoa, what an excitement, right? We really feel like the future is full of possibilities. We're starting to feel our own personal calling in life. And that's really what this journey has been about, is that we've been trying to find out, what's our purpose in this 3D plane? Who are we? And we have found more of our place in the world by the time we've gotten to key 21 here. Another thing that's going on is that we've understanding that there's three, and this isn't written in stone, but three main principles that I think we need to think about in relationship to this key, because this is also the key for Saturn, which I'll talk about more in a minute here. But three of the terms would be perseverance, honesty, and courage. And that's really to, sometimes you just have to, if you fall down, you got to pick yourself back up and brush yourself off and keep moving forward. For perseverance and honesty, hopefully by the time you get to this key, you've figured out that, if you try to cut corners, tell the little white lies, they may help you for a little bit, but it's not good in the long run. And courage. Sometimes we just have to get out of our comfort zone. We need to be able to talk truth to power and things like that. So there are those three things that are difficult, but are very Saturnian and are also part of this key also. And when we get to this level or this stage of our unfoldment, we do want to share our talents, share our gifts and all of our information with the world. Basically, we want to let people know that there is hope and good things to come, basically. And also, on some level, we know that our journey isn't quite over yet either. We know that, that axiom, the only constant in life is change, is very true. And we know that we're going to just keep going forward, even now that we've gotten to this level. Now I'm going to quickly look at the tarot tableau and give a few little ideas on this one, if I can see which way. The directions are Well, I guess I need to go this way. Okay. So I can see this on the camera. Okay. So I just wanted to let you know there is a numbering methodology in esoteric studies where we add the numbers together. I'll just show you. It's easier than trying to explain. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 plus 4 is 10. 10 plus 5 is 15. 15 plus 6 is 21. So do not pass go. Do not collect $100. Go straight to key 21. Yeah, you can still see that. So what that's telling us is these 6 keys are really important to looking for repeated symbols and ideas to help us learn more about key 21. And then we've also got this 7th level of stage of unfoldment. I always hate to use the word level because that kind of says, you know, one thing is better than the other. And, you know, we repeat these cycles so many times that even though this is the 7th level, somebody else over here on the 1st level maybe, or the 1st stage of unfoldment may have gone through this 100 times, and this one's just the 1st time. So bear with me on that. But we do have this 7th stage of unfoldment. And the chariot here, we've gotten outside the walls of our inner space of the city inside here, and now we're out here on the plain, running around, having a good time, enjoying life. We got the subconscious and self-consciousness, you know, being guided by our super consciousness. Again, that kind of integration here. We don't even need any reins, right? So hopefully you're starting to remember these symbols. And then temperance is tempering to make stronger. You know, they tempered metals with heat and with water. So here we've got fire for Leo, water for Scorpio, and then it's being tempered by the opposite element here. But also remember that this is Saint Archangel Michael. He's got his foot in the water, but it's on the earth, and he's got this other one out here resting on a stone. And then, so the earth element is also involved. And just the fact that he's breathing, he's got the wings, the air element is also incorporated down into this 7th stage here. So, and of course, dancing in the air, you can't get much more cosmic than that. So I think at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you on pause, and I'm going to bring the camera down. We'll look at the key in more detail. All righty. All right, so here we go. We've got our Rider-Waite-Smith deck, our BOTA deck, and I'll be using this just as reference for later. And hopefully I won't get too much going on with the focus here. We shall see. Oh, and that's me. All right, so the first thing we look at is the Hebrew letter, which is Tav, which means like a signature or a mark. And back in the old days, you know, before people could even write that sort of thing, they would just use a mark for their signature. So a signature kind of means, you know, we've completed a deal. It's, you know, implies a focus is a little distracting to me here, but I think it's okay. Implies that there's a pledge, that you've sealed the deal, that you've maybe witnessed some sort of completion of something. As it also means the completion of, you know, our journey here. It's the final key and the completion of the great work of studying all this information and going forward. Now, this symbol, Tav, you know, is an X, and it would be the same kind of X or T, Tav, as we see on the High Priestess's gown here. Now, this is what is considered a Greek cross because it's got equal arms. The Latin cross is the one with the elongated vertical. And this is really a symbol not only of signature, but a signature or a symbol of salvation from death, okay, of eternal life. And really, that's what this character is representing, is that spirit in us that is alive and well and functioning before birth, during our lives, is trying to communicate with us, as well as after death. So it really is kind of helping us see that there is a continuum from before, during, and after life on this 3D plane here. Now, like I said, this key also represents Saturn, and Saturn is, the very center of that cube of space. So think of Saturn as being right in the center of that cross like that. And remember when we were talking about the Judgment card here, and the characters in their 3D coffins here, and they're popping up vertically. Well, that's that vertical, reach for this cosmic relationship here. So that when we think of the cube of space, Saturn is right smack in the center of that. Now, symbolically, Saturn is the god that, I don't know why it's doing this with the focus, but we'll see. Saturn is a god that several did this, but he ate his own children. It's kind of gross, but we can kind of interpret that as meaning taking your own experiences and absorbing them into your own consciousness, as in your own whatever you've expressed and that kind of thing, and hopefully for the good too eventually. Now, Saturn is kind of considered a stodgy kind of planet, but very solid, very dependable, all those good things. And it's the ancient ruler of Aquarius, which now Uranus is the modern ruler for that. And I always think of that as Saturn as being kind of like those quirky, funny guys that you see on TV that are like either they're talking about politics or the law or science, that kind of thing. Aquarius, very intelligent, very technology driven, that kind of thing. But yet they're wearing like that bow tie or the suspenders or something kind of old fashioned and a little weird. That's where I see Saturn coming in for the sign Aquarius. Now it's the ruler of it still is the ruler of Capricorn, which is our devil plant key here. And so you can kind of see, Saturn can also be kind of dinged for having a lot of inertia. And as you can see, that's definitely going on here with these two characters. They're much happier here with the chains around their neck. They could lift those off easily. But they're happier with the devil they know than seeking out new experiences and new devils, basically. So that can be kind of a stumbling block for Saturnian type energy. Now the color for Saturn and for key 21 is this indigo or blue violet, and that would be true too for the devil and key 15. And the note to intone, if you want to do that with meditation, would be A natural, and that would be the same for the Capricorn there. Now, I'm trying not to mess too much with the focus there. Okay. Saturn is exalted in Libra, and Justice is our Libra card here. And, at first I kind of had a hard time with that. Saturn, it's kind of a tough planet, and Libra is like, I think of so get along, wants to make everybody happy, wants to be the peacemaker, because she or he is always balancing these scales, always wants these to be in balance. So that would be a Saturn quality for sure, wanting things to be in balance and run smoothly. She does have that red garment on of Mars, but she does have the Venus green cape covering that. Venus is her ruler, but she also has this sword in her hand. So even though Libras, especially when you first get to know them, may seem like they're the most, want to please people the most, once they decide that, this isn't going to come into balance, they can whip out that sword and, off with your head and off with your feet and all sorts of things like that. So another thing too that these two, this sign and this planet have in common is they really want to follow the rules. Libra, the Justice card, very much like attorneys, and also the idea of service again comes up. I mean, attorneys a lot of time are defending or or prosecuting people they don't think, or not sure whether they're guilty or not guilty. They're just following the rules and doing what they should be doing. Now, oh, and here's Venus. So if we think about numerology, 2 plus 1 is 3. And again, that kind of reinforces that exaltation. And now that we're getting to these keys that are further along in the deck in general, start looking at where you see repetition. Blonde hair, a wreath around her head. Okay, sorry. Okay. So we kind of see that repetition again. So start looking for those kinds of things in general. Now, another thing that we do in these occult studies is we can flip, for numerology, we can flip these numbers around. So 21 can become 12, which is the hangman. 1 and 2, whereas this is 2 and 1, that there's a relationship there. And remember, Neptune, this is the Neptune card, is the higher octave of Venus, so relating back to key 3 again. But also notice that there's so many similarities here. Here, she's got all her weight on her right foot. I guess you put your weight on that for dancing, and he's being hung by his right leg. They both make that symbol of the 4 that we saw in the BOT Emperor. So that's kind of bringing that 4, that solidness. And remember 12, 4 times 3 equals 12. So we see that repetition of those numbers also. Oh, and also the T that he's hanging from refers back to the Tav, the T. This would be, it's not that Greek T, it's more like the Latin T, but it's still there. So keep that. So you can start to see these relationships. Another one that we see are the 4 symbols of the around the outside here, the 4 fixed signs. So we have air, Aquarius, and we can see them repeated in the Wheel of Fortune, which is our Jupiter card. And then we have water, fixed sign, Scorpio, Leo, fixed fire, and Taurus, the bull, fixed earth. And another relationship, and before I jump to that though, is that in the BOTA deck though, you'll see that the bull he's facing outward away from the central figure here. And what that's symbolizing is that we are ready to go into new chapters in the 3-dimensional plane. This is the earth one, the earthiest of all. So we are ready to look forward out into the new and into something different, basically. Let's see. I think, was that all I want? Oh, no, the other thing I wanted to say about Jupiter and Saturn is that, remember, too, that these 2 planets have a lot in common because they're the 2 transpersonal planets. The personal planets are the Sun through Mars, and then the transpersonal are Jupiter and Saturn. We can still see them from Earth, but they're the furthest out there and have longer they stay longer in a sign. And then the outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, are considered, the outer planets that speak more to people in general. Let's see. Now let's look at the wreath that our lovely character is dancing in. And in the BOTA deck, we can see that there's 22 groups of 3 leaves. And the 22, of course, refers back to the 22 keys, or the 22 Hebrew letters. And they're made up of 3 groupings of 3 leaves. And what those 3 leaves stand for is that all through our journey, our challenges here on the 3D plane, we got to remember that we're building, breaking down, and making balance, creating balance. Building, breaking down, balance, over and over and over. Now, another thing that we see in common here with these 2 signs, these 2 keys, is the red binding at the top of the wreath. And that's reminding us of the magician. And that's the symbol for the Holy Spirit again, as above, so below, as above, so below. But they're red here, and what that means is we're ready to go into action with our everything that we've learned, with our abilities as a magician, as well as our strength that we've learned through the strength key, also of being gentle but firm with our 3D animal natures and such. Now she also has spirals in her hand, or wands, and the one in the right hand is going counterclockwise, representing involution. And then in the left hand, the spiral is going in the clockwise direction, or evolution. So this is where we're sort of, I kind of think of that as breathing in and breathing out. Sometimes we need to go in and sometimes out. And both, either can be appropriate depending. And then finally, we see that this wreath, this big 0, basically, that she's in, does take us back to the Fool and the 0 key, for sure. So, and the Fool, as you remember, it kind of represents super consciousness. So this whole 0, the big oval here, this key is just giving us a snapshot, a little peek into universal consciousness, or maybe possibly nirvana. Definitely getting us in touch in who we really are and what we're doing in this whole dance of life. Because remember, that's the whole point of this journey. And as we may guess, as she's dancing around up here, she knows she exists before life. It's on the 3D, during and after life. Eventually, she feels so positive, so optimistic, so ready. She puts on her cloak, grabs her purse, and is ready to leap off the cliff again into the 3D reality. So that kind of brings us to the end of our major tarot, the major arcana. And just to give you a few little snicks and grins here, there's my kitty tarot. And you can see they've repeated some of the symbols. We still have our air, water, fire, earth. And I think it's really cute they made a mouse into the earthly symbol there as our kitty's hanging there. And then finally, this is from my Gilded Tarot. And again, this is a very modern deck, but we can see a lot of the same symbols. We've got the violet, like her violet scarf here. And oh, I just forgot one thing. Oh no, I got to tell you. And she's still got her spirals and that kind of thing. But let's just go back to the Wheel of Fortune. This key is Kaf, and as you can see on the BOTA, that's the symbol actually for Kaf. for this key. So again, we're seeing that repetition. So anyway, I think I've gotten everything enough. I've talked plenty, too long probably, but this is our final key. And next time I'm going to be talking about some divination, and then we'll go on to the minor arcana. And just remember, from there to here, from here to there, funny things are everywhere. Bye, guys. Thank you so much. I super appreciate you watching.